Today I'm going to share how I grew a stock portfolio from $0 to over $260,000 by age 25. We'll take a look at all three of my investment accounts, including the Dividend Growth Portfolio, which I've updated every month on the channel for the past 4 years. Many of you have watched me improve my investing strategy live as I grew that account from $30,000 to over $188,000. And I still have a lot to learn. So why am I sharing this? Well, I believe it's important for people to take control of their financial security. Investing in the stock market is one of the most reliable paths to wealth building. It's possible if you set the right goals. I prioritized investing at a young age to help secure my financial future. Now I have some momentum behind me and the power of long-term compounding at work, but I'm just getting started. The best part is that you don't need to be a genius. I don't think that I'm special. There are people doing far better than me. I haven't created some massive business win or exit, but there were some basic strategies that I used. First, you have to focus on growing your personal income. If you can do this at a young age, then that's a massive advantage. I always had some kind of job or small business cooking up. Even today, I still have massive room for improvements around income. My net worth is actually pretty ridiculous relative to my income. Second, you need to live below your means. I always kept my costs low relative to earnings. After graduating college, I lived with my parents for a couple of years. That specific option may not be available to everyone, but keeping your costs low is vital. The difference between your income and costs is what I'll call your personal free cash flow. For you newbies, free cash flow is a financial term used when analyzing stocks. Think of it as your money left over after all costs. So what do you do with it? If you want to build wealth, then I'd avoid immediate gratification by buying a fancy car or expensive vacations. I am a big believer in delayed gratification. What I primarily choose to do with this cash flow is invest in the stock market. This allows you to acquire a small ownership stake in some of the world's greatest businesses. These are profitable and growing companies, and by buying their stock, you are now a part owner of their earning power. Many stocks will pay out dividends to you, which is your share of the profit distributions as an owner. Personally, I invest in individual stocks as I am very into analyzing businesses and investing. It's become a major interest and hobby of mine, if you can't tell. I've learned a lot from studying the greats like Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, which I often share on this channel. However, many people do not want to do that, and that is completely fine. You don't have to. You can still invest in the stock market via ETFs, which are passive indexes that track things like the S&P 500. That is the benchmark of performance, and it gives you an ownership stake in 500 of the largest businesses in the United States. A very simple solution. Today, I'm going to share all 16 of the stocks I own across my 3 portfolios. I'll give updated thoughts on many of my positions and show how much gains and dividend income the portfolios generate. Finally, I'll project the future value of my stock portfolio even if I don't invest any new capital. That will show why building up investments at a young age is so important. So start now, even if you're much older than me. Time is the #1 factor. Let's roll the intro. My name is Zach, this is Dividend Data, and you should leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the video. And if you want to use the research platform I'm showing throughout the video, then sign up at dividenddata.com. There you can view live updates to my full long-term dividend growth stock portfolio and watch list. You also get a little research report on my best stock pick every single month. You can use the exact stock research tool that I built so that I can analyze companies better. You can track your own portfolio in the same format I show throughout the video. That allows you to get cool stats like projected dividend income, which is not shown in many brokerages. And if you don't want all that and just want the information, then please sign up for my free email newsletter, which sends out every single Monday. That will also give you a link to some of our free tools and resources, link in the description and pinned comment. All right, so here you can see the combined value of all 3 of my stock portfolios. I have the dividend account, non-dividend account, and my Roth-IRA. The current total value is $262.9 thousand, with $152.4 thousand invested to fund the account, and my current total unrealized gain is $110.5 thousand. $2,000, which is a 72.49% total return. And as I mentioned earlier, I pick individual stocks and I often am highly concentrated in my top picks. For example, over 50% of my investments is across Tesla, Visa, and Microsoft. I'll go through each of my portfolios one by one, starting with my dividend portfolio. This is the account that I update every single month on the channel. Current total value is $188.2 thousand with $122.2 thousand invested. That gives me a $65.9 thousand total return, or 53.95%. Stock number one is Visa, followed by Microsoft at a close number two. And right now, these are the two core pillars of the portfolio, and they're heavily focused on dividend growth. Both Visa and Microsoft are stellar businesses with high earnings growth and very sustainable dividend payments. And if you're investing in businesses over the long term, the number one factor you should be looking at is quality of the business. That will be things like their market position, profitability, balance sheet, growth potential, etc. And in my opinion, Visa and Microsoft are both in the A+ category when it comes to that. Not only that, but they are dividend growth machines, and I think the companies will continue growing their dividends annually over a 10% rate for decades to come. But I also have two high yield stocks that are my third and fourth stocks in my portfolio. That is the Altria Group, ticker symbol MO, and ExxonMobil, ticker symbol XOM. These two stocks are my biggest dividend payers by far. The Altria Group nearly pays me $2.2 thousand a year in dividends. In fact, they're about to pay me a $548 payment on October 10th. I will reinvest those dividends to acquire even more shares of Altria, increasing my future dividend payments in something we call the dividend snowball effect. And when we look at my dividend stock portfolio, it will change over time, but I think these four stocks are my core four at the moment, and I definitely am going to hold on to these for a number of years. And all my stocks below that are more likely to change over time. We've got the Walt Disney Company, ticker symbol DIS. Many of you have followed my investment journey with this one and all the lessons learned, because this was a big mistake at the price I bought it. However, I do think it's poised for good gains from this current price over the next year to 2 years. Then we have Apple, ticker symbol AAPL, and I would probably also put this in a stock that I won't be selling anytime soon just because of how high quality the business is. And if you're wondering which stock is most on the bubble for me, it's actually the T. Rowe Price Group, ticker symbol TROW. I might do an updated stock analysis on the company soon if I decide to sell and reallocate towards other companies. Then we have the Kroger Company, ticker symbol KR. This is a large grocery conglomerate. It has been a dividend growth machine over recent years. Then we have Enterprise Product Partners, ticker symbol EPD. This is an oil and natural gas distribution company, and it's also one of my higher yielding stocks with a 10.58% dividend yield on cost. But from reinvesting all my dividends in the years that I have owned it, that has been boosted to a 14.46% on my initial dollars invested. So I will be holding on to EPD for a number of years as well. And then I have PepsiCo, ticker symbol PEP, which is a classic dividend aristocrat stock, followed by Chevron, ticker symbol CVX, another oil giant. I actually think the oil stocks aren't poised to do well in the coming years. This might be another stock that I'm playing around with the idea of selling, considering I already have large concentration in Exxon. And they have automatic data processing, ticker symbol ADP, which is a dividend growth company. I've done a full stock review video on this in the past. And one of my newer companies, Starbucks, ticker symbol SBUX. I'm up 31% since I initially bought a couple months back, and I will likely not be adding anytime soon as I'm waiting to see how they perform under new management. And this account pays me $4,835 in annual dividend income. That is $1,208 every quarter, $402 every month, $13.25 every day, and 55 cents an hour. And I'm waiting for a decade from now when this hourly income number actually comes down to like a real wage someone might be earning. That'd be pretty awesome. And here you can see the schedule of my dividend payment. Most of them are quarterly, so there is kind of a 3-month rotation of how the dividends are paid out. I do have one semi-annual dividend in Disney, so there's 2 slightly bigger months throughout the year. And as I mentioned earlier, I have a couple big dividend payments coming up, mostly Altria at $548. And here you can see my history of earned dividend income over time. In total, I earned $14.4 thousand in total dividends. That was $3.5 thousand last year, and I've almost reached that so far in 2024, currently at $3,393. And last month in September, I earned $518.07 in dividend income. That was made up from $80.85 from Visa, $27.74 from Kroger, $35.14 from Chevron, $156.70 from ExxonMobil, $76.37 from Microsoft, $112.82 from T. Rowe Price, and $28.45 from PepsiCo. And so far in October, I've earned $12.82 from ADP, but my main dividend payer in the month is the Altria Group. And in the total history of this account since I started it, the Altria Group is my #1 dividend payer by far. It is accounted for 22.95% of my total dividend income. That's $3,300. And the main reason why it's not more is I actually just doubled my Altria Group position. I don't really remember when that was. It might have been sometime in 2023 or early 2024. Someone in the comments might remember. And then my second account, which I'm going to share today, I have titled Non-Dividend. And this one's actually really interesting. It's 3 companies that I bought prior to even starting my dividend portfolio, and I haven't made any changes in this account since then. In 2016, this was one of the first stocks I ever bought. I bought Tesla, ticker symbol TSLA. I put just under $1,200 into it at a cost per share. Now that the company has split, I believe, multiple times, the cost per share is $15.58. So I have a 1,500% total return on the company. And some of you may say, Zach, you should sell. You have crazy gains on this stock. But if you can't tell by Tesla being my number 1 stock overall, I believe it's set up for very high growth over the decades to come. Stock number 2 is Berkshire Hathaway, ticker symbol BRKB. I have a 113.83% total return. And I'm pretty sure I bought this in 2018 at nearly the height of the market at that time. And it took many years for it to go above that price, but now it's seen significant gains since then. And the reason for that is Berkshire Hathaway is Warren Buffett's company, and it is a money printing machine. It is legitimately designed to compound money and build wealth. So Berkshire Hathaway is a company that I will never sell because I know that it will have some inherent value and continue growing over time. And God forbid we have some crazy economic recession. I know I'll have some chunk of value left there in Berkshire Hathaway. And then I have Amazon, ticker symbol AMZN. This is a total value of $7,400, and I have a 181.5% total return. And Amazon, in my opinion, is one of the highest quality companies in the world. I believe I bought this stock in 2017. I was like a freshman in college then. These 3 stocks I'm basically never planning to sell ever, unless something dramatic happens to one of the companies that just like ruins their business model. And then finally, we have my Roth-IRA, which has changed a lot over time, actually. I used to have mutual funds in it, but then as I learned more and more about investing, I switched to just allocating it into a stock that I liked much better. And I basically switched it all to Tesla in January 2023. And that was after Elon bought Twitter and he had to sell Tesla stock. So it went through this massive downturn all the way to like $108. And I believe my cost at that time was like $120 or so. That was a load the boat moment. I wish I had way more cash on the sidelines and I would have gone 10 times as heavy as I did at that time. And then in 2024, I bought another $3,500 or so far. So my current cost per share is $143.71 in this account, which is a 74% total return. And some of you might say, Zach, Tesla has underperformed the S&P 500 over the past 5 years. And this is a company where there is massive differences in the stock price. And I have bought at ideal moments. So I have actually done quite well on Tesla stock, even in that time of underperformance. And I personally believe that Tesla is poised for massive long-term growth. Like we are still in the first couple innings of the company. And if you want to know why I think that, then perhaps I should do a full stock analysis video on Tesla. Let me know in the comments if you want that. And if I do it, it will likely be after October 10th, which is their cyber taxi or robo-taxi unveil day. I think that will end up being one of the biggest product presentations around artificial intelligence in modern history. So again, let me know in the comments if you are interested in a Tesla stock review video, because I do know a lot about the company. I've been following and investing in it for a very long time. So if you want to understand my thesis more, then that will be interesting. Please let me know in the comments. So here is my stock portfolio overall, once again. But now let's project how this portfolio will look over time, even if I add no money. And to do so, I'm going to be using my dividend snowball effect calculator, which I've shown on the channel quite a few times. This is a free tool available on my website if you want to use it, link in the description. And this is designed more to analyze an individual stock, but I'm going to hack it a little bit to do it with my entire portfolio. So to do that, I'm going to put my current portfolio value in the investment amount, and I'm going to have it set to one-time investment, so there's no recurring new money coming in. And I'm basically just going to pretend that my portfolio is a stock. So we'll have the current stock price be the current value. And then for annual dividend, we'll have the number of dividends that my current portfolio generates in a year. And that's $4,835 of dividend income, which if you're wondering, across all of my accounts, that's a 2.8% dividend yield on cost. So we'll have that number set as the annual dividend income. And then for the compound annual growth rate of the dividend, we'll put it at 8%. And that's because I do have larger dividend stocks like Altria and ExxonMobil, which are high yielders, but they are low growth. But then I have that balanced out with higher growth companies like like Visa. So realistically, I guess I could put this anywhere between like 6 to like 9% because we don't exactly know what it's going to do in the future. And then for the stock price compound annual growth rate, I'll put it at 10%, which is kind of what the S&P 500 has done over like the past decade. And we'll put this as a quarterly dividend payment, and we'll show what it looks like reinvesting the dividends. So here you can see a projection of what this account will look like adding no new money other than reinvesting dividends. By the end of 35 years, this will have a total value of $13 million. And that's $13 million if you reinvest your dividends. If you don't, then it would be valued at $8.5 million. And by the way, that's the number you would see if you put it into a regular compound interest calculator of 10% over years, but that does not factor in the impact of reinvesting dividends, which if you follow this channel, you know that dividend reinvestment is a big principle. But in 35 years, I would be 60 years old and a $13 million portfolio. It's not bad, considering that this would be the growth of my existing money that I've built up over time, not having to add any new money to it. So I think this is a pretty great baseline to be building behind. And my stock portfolio would be paying me over $100,000 in annual dividend income at the end of 35 years, with me investing no new money. That's a 38.33% dividend yield on my initial cost basis. And again, if I don't reinvest dividends, that number will be lower, down to $66,200. And the reason for that is over time, I would be earning $1.15 million in total dividend income. So that's $1.15 million reinvested to acquire more shares of the stocks in my portfolio. Now, of course, there are taxes involved with dividend income, so it would be slightly different unless you paid the taxes with your personal income regardless of this portfolio, which is likely what in real life I would do. So in my opinion, I think this is pretty awesome, and it shows how important time is when investing. The longer you have to invest, the stronger your compounding will be. And that's why it's important to prioritize investing when you're young. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. If you want to use the stock research platform I've been showing throughout the video, then please sign up at dividenddata.com. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee, so no risk in trying it out. Also, please sign up for my free email newsletter so you can get breaking dividend news and my stock analysis straight to your inbox. Links in the description and pinned comment. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.